headed out in the big rollback. I want to go pick up a chassis. This guy owns a company, had the engine in-framed at the international dealer because they had a problem with one of the cylinders, dropped the valve, broke the valve, something like that, and ruined the cylinder sleeve. And shortly after that, his driver rolled the truck on its side. So he bought it back from the insurance company and took the cab off of it and was going to repair it. Just never got around to it. Now he's just decided to sell it. So I'm going to buy it for the engine. They removed the transmission, used it in a different truck, and then the cab's gone. The hood's still there. It's kind of damaged, but it's still there. And rear axles are there, so on and so forth. But there's a lot of good parts. I'll show you when we get there. Alright, so here we are. This is the truck. Like I said, the engine just had an in-frame with a new head. Transmission's gone, clutch is there. Look at that double frame all the way front to back. Batteries are gone, battery cover. Both tanks are there. This one's got a dent there and that one's got a small dent, not really a big deal. Aluminum outer wheel, 390 ratio rears, air ride. He just had that fifth wheel put on because he needed a different one. There's one aluminum wheel, another aluminum wheel. I think they're steel inners. Tires are usable on the front. The front drives are usable. The rears they've singled out and put junk back on. It's got a hydraulic tank aluminum here. It's kind of nice. DPF is there. Somebody will use that. I have to get that stack off somehow because that makes me too tall. And I can't steer it because there's no steering column and the wheels are turned. So this will be nice. I hate to steer it with a pipe because those are aluminum wheels. I don't want to booger them up. Be interesting.
Can you make it out of there?
Okay, so that's 2 on the front axle, 2 in the middle, and 2 in the back. Plus the
So do you want to tell them what you've got here?
Yeah, I kind of did in the beginning.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
I think we're ready to go. We got the hood strapped down several ways. We got my chains on.
Well, I'll be following you, so I'll keep an eye out.
See, the thing is, when you put something like this on this bed, I can't strap it all down while it's tilted. I have to wait till it's flat. And you'll get slack in the chains because the bed's laying a different way. So after it's on, I gotta make sure it's tight. Here.
Oh yeah.
Keep moving that. Okay. Good to go. Let's hit the road, Toad.
Alrighty.
Well, we are headed back. Stopped and got some diesel fuel and checked all the chains. Everything's doing good, so just motor on home real nice and easy and slow. I made it back with no troubles. Everything's tight, everything rode well, nothing was an issue, which is fantastic. So now I gotta decide what I'm gonna leave it here or not and what I'm gonna work on, because like I said, this engine, I got all the paperwork with it from where it was in-framed at the international dealer. It got rods, mains, rings, pistons, sleeves, oil pump, water pump, new cylinder head, new turbo. I can't remember if it got injectors or not. I think it did, but regardless, it was, I have all the paperwork for it. It was like almost $28,000 in the in-frame. So the reason I wanted the truck was, one, it's a lot of parts, a lot of, you know, a couple good steer tires, some aluminum wheels, a nice aluminum tank. The other one's a little damaged and all that in the rear end, and it's a nice clean double frame. Rear ends are 390s. I can always use 390 rear ends. Now, if you remember, not long ago when I got my new trailer, I went and picked up a truck that had an ISX Cummins that had a hole in the block on both sides. I'll take a look at that and I'll show you that truck. All right, so this is that truck. It's basically the same truck as that one, day cab, all that. And the CPL numbers, which is a critical parts list on the Cummins engine, was the same. So I'll be able to use that engine with the ECM from this truck and put this truck together. And I should be able to swap over some of the wheels and some of the tires, because it looks like it's got a couple really nice ones on the back and a couple less than fantastic ones. So we'll be using it for parts and to put this truck together. Part of me wants to just take this cab and hood off of this truck, take transmission and put it in that one, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm not sure yet. If I did that, then I got a rebuilt title. I don't want that. This has a clean title. So anyways, let's decide.
We got a chain dragging underneath because he needs to just tap it with a hammer. It got a little bit stuck under there, so.
All right, we got it up to the shop here. I was lifting it from the rear, as you saw, and it wasn't exactly easy because the steering, you know, it's unhooked, or it's not hooked to anything, so the front wheels can do whatever they like. So I'm currently working on that trailer project in there, which by this time you guys will already have seen the trailer project, at least one part of it. But as soon as that one's done, this is what I'm on to next. We're going to pull this motor out and start swapping over to the other truck. The other truck's going in the shop, and we'll get it all ready to take apart in the shop, and then we'll pull this motor out when we're ready. But this is why the schedule changes like it does, because you can find a deal on something like this, which, you know, the guy spent $28,000 on this motor getting it in framed, and then less than 2,000 miles after that, the truck was rolled over. Now after it was rolled over, they brought it back to their shop, and the guy that worked at the international dealer works for this company that owned this truck, and you know, they looked it over, checked it, barred it over by hand, you know, slowly to make sure it didn't hydrolock or anything, and they were able to fire it back up just with the cab damage to make sure it was okay. And you can see the mileage right there, 265,000 miles. So, and I've got the paperwork for the in-frame, which is really cool. So anyways, this will be next. So my wife just came back from the post office, and there was a package from D.E. Campbell. I think he told me this was coming. He didn't tell me what it was, but it's coming, something like that. Wow, that's priceless. Let me get this out of here. This is hilarious. I have been told on many occasions, or people have made mention of this. I say this all the time. It is what it is. If I ever had shirts made, I would have to have them say, it is what it is. I'll put that in the house. I probably ought to put it in the shop, shouldn't I? It is what it is. And it'll never be more. Thank you for that. I love it. That's fantastic. Where should I put it? I think I got an idea where it belongs. There you go, Mr. Campbell. It is what it is. My wife just came back from